Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back to this series on how to build threads from scratch. In today's episode, we're going to go over adding followers and following section. And so that we can go to a different profile. Right now, we're not showing anything, but on threads, there's like a little section here to see who this person's following. And then also be able to click on one of these and actually be able to follow this person so that you could change the main thread to either show everyone that you're following or just everything that's new. So you have that flexibility. So first thing we're going to do, and we're also going to show the activity. I think I took a little screenshot of what we want it to look like. This is the activity page and a couple different sections on top, but we're just going to focus on the follow section for today. So let's get started. So first thing we're going to do is create a new, actually close some of these tabs, a new model for followers. And let's go to schema. And it's going to be pretty similar to the association between this user and repost user. They're both referencing the same thing. So we have to define this relation. So we're going to have to do the same thing with followers because it's going to reference it's going to reference the same table. Follower and following is going to be the same thing. So we're going to create model followers ID. We're going to use this default generated ID and then user ID. It's going to be required, and it's going to be a relation to the user model like we just talked about on user ID, and then have the following user ID. So the big thing to remember here is we have this user ID user. So believe me, this part gets really confusing because this is my second time recording this, and I just don't think it was very clear in the first one. The followers is going to be, we're going to use it a bunch of different times in different ways. And so we're going to use the same table, and we're going to create two different hooks for the same table because we want a list of people that we're following so that we could see, okay, if we're already following this person, then we don't want to show the plus button. If we aren't following, then we want to give them the option to start following them. And then in activity, we're going to show the people that started following us. So those are two different things. Like everyone we're following, it would be our user ID equals user ID. People that are following us, our user ID would be the following user ID. And like I said, the other thing that we want is that relation. So we're going to put a following user. Yes, that makes sense. And then user. Are we doing user at all? Yeah, we are doing. But it's on post. Following user, yeah, we'll just keep that. And then up here, we're going to do followers and following. So user is our followers. See, I'm already getting confused with this. Following okay, this person's followers is not the user. It's going to be the follower user ID, and this is going to be the user. So we're following, everyone we're following is our user ID is going to be the user ID. Everyone that follows us, so our followers, is going to be the following user ID. Jeez Louise, exactly why. I redid this one. Okay, so let's stop this and then let's run npx, or what is it, npx? I always mess it up. Prisma format. To make sure we don't get any errors and clean up the spacing. And then npx prisma db push. And shouldn't run into any errors because it's a completely new table. And everything here is required. There'd be no use in this if these were optional. Okay, so now let's restart again. And I guess the first thing we want to do is add two different functions. So just like we have add like and remove like, we want to be able to do const follow user and then const unfollow user. And then if we want to follow the user, it's going to be the followers table. They're both going to be the same table, but it's going to be where our user, so the person logged in, is the user ID. And the person we're following is the item that we're looking at. Okay. And then we can, so we will actually refetch because, oh no, sorry. I don't even have that functionality yet, so there's nothing to refetch. So let's just add that for now. And then to unfollow user, we want to find where the user ID is our user ID. And the following user ID is the ID of the person of this post. Okay. Then we want to put the functionality around this plus button. No. So let's just put a pressable. Although, can I make this avatar badge clickable? I don't think so, but worth a shot. No. Okay. So let's just make it pressable. Okay. And for now, we're just going to do add follower. This is what we want to do. We want to change the functionality based on if we're already following or not. But for right now, we're just going to, on this click, follow user. And then we're going to go to their database. Oh, yeah. Good thing I came over here. Remember, we added a new table, so we want to make sure all the little lock signs are all lined up for development purposes. Should clarify that. And then we go back, and now it's RLS disabled, so now we should be able to push to that table. And then also, we'll want to fix this because right now, I did create a different user because this already confusing following follower model would be even more confusing if we were using the same user. So I am logged in as React Native Node, and you can see that by the top part. So we want to we'll remove this one in a second. We just want to follow Tim. All right, let's try this again. So we click this null after a bunch of logs, check our database. Okay, we got the field there. Just had to restart the application because I think I just cached old code. So now we have the ability to follow a user. So now we want to do something with that. We want to change this. We don't want to show this plus button after you follow, so you want to be able to change that. So what we're going to do is create two different hooks. Like I said, two different hooks with the same model. So use follow. So let's start with use following.ts. And we could just do copy and paste this for now. So let's do use following, get following, change this up here. Okay. So then we do Superbase from followers. And remember, since we have this association, it's a little bit more a complicated join because you have to define specifically what user relationship you're using. And so we have the following user ID where our user ID, for the user ID of that, let me just do the schema. So we want to get everyone that we're following. So that means our user ID is going to equal user underscore ID. So equal user underscore ID is user ID. And then we want to return, so what we're doing here, instead of just returning data, we want to return data.map, and we just want to return an array of links. And you'll see here, let me const following, and then I just want to be able to log following versus data. And then we want to return following. And let's call this in post view. So component shared post view. Right now we have follow user. Let's import our hook. So following, we're going to rename it as following. So it's clear. Use following. So these are people we're following. So we're passing in our user ID. And ultimately what we want to do is if the following includes, if who we're following includes the post of this user ID, that means we're already following. We don't want to show the plus button. We have this unfollow user, but I don't know if I'm going to keep that. Usually it's just it removes doesn't like that. I will do an empty function. Usually on threads, if you're already following, then it just removes this ability to add a plus. And actually, it doesn't show it at all. So actually, we want this on the outside. And so we want to do if it doesn't include, then return this avatar. And then here, it's really only going to be follow user. Otherwise, it's just not even going to show it at all, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so it disappeared. So that should mean that's because it's taking in here. And then down here, okay, perfect. You could see in here logging two different things. This new one that we created, so we're just looping through the data, and the data that is getting returned is this. So we got created at following user. Right now, I added this. For this, technically, we only need to return following user ID. Yes, following user ID. So technically, I could just put this up here for future reference, console log it out, and then put this key right here and just return that and then reload. And so that it's at least a shorter, less data getting returned. Right now, this is all we need. In the future, we're actually going to need to return this full part, which is why I just removed it for now. But then we're just turning this into array. So then we could do array dot includes this instead of like mapping through. It's just cleaner. Honestly, we can do this on the front end, but for right now, let's do that. Okay. Oh, actually, I'm not doing it in the front end because we are going to come back and add this query in the future. So we're going to return two different things. Like I said, for right now, we just care if we're following them already or not. And then we're going to do, so in this activity page, we have this follow section. So it's going to be the opposite of this query. So we want to get everyone that is following us. So that's going to be called use followers. So let's call use-followers.ts. Just copy and paste this baby for right now. So use followers, get followers. And then here, so this one's a little different. We don't want this part. And that's because we're going to show we want to join on user. So we could get their avatar, their username, not just their avatar and their username actually, but that's on the user table and not on the followers table. So what we have to do here actually is, here's where we do have to do a join. And then it would be user and user ID. Yeah, because they're following us, it would be their user information. But we want to find it where the following user ID is our ID. And then remove that. And we don't need it on the home page. Actually, before we remove this home page, I only want to show this plus button also if it's, or we don't want to show it if it's our own profile. So you could do and user dot ID does not equal the item dot user ID, and that should disappear. Yeah. So it's just checking if this is our post, then don't add the ability to follow yourself, because that's cheating. No. It's just confusing, honestly, if you're able to follow yourself, especially for this tutorial. Okay, so we actually don't need this unfollow user just yet. I'll just comment it out. Make things super simple for right now. Okay. We're good for this page for now. Let's go to activity. And like I said, we're going to start making it look like this over here. Activity. So let's add some text. This is from, yeah. So size, large, bold. I think it's going to be extra large. Ooh, maybe 3XL. And then class name. text black. Yep, there you go. And then let's move this over. This keeps getting overlapping. And then here, we want to show this is like a scrollable list of like buttons. So what we could do is do a flat list, not post view. Definitely not what we want. No. Stop suggesting post view. Jeez. We want a button. Oh, English stack. We're gonna come back to this in this section in a bit. First, we want to do button, and it's really gonna be differentiate between an outline and a solid button. I think Threads does like outline and then like really lightly colored outline, but I like the differentiation between like solid and not. So we're gonna compare to see if like we're already following them, if they're following us, and be able to follow back if not. So let's import from UI components. Yep. And okay, so we want to do const tabs again. Name. Why does that keep follows? I think it's follows. Yeah, follows. And we could just put some. What was it? Follows, mentions, reposts. Yep. So then let's loop through. Okay. And then let's make this horizontal. There we go. And you can see it's scrollable. Let's hide that scrollable thing. So scroll, show false. Okay. And then item.name. There we go. And let's add some content container. No, class name, I think it is. Yes. I'll be honest, I was very surprised native one worked on this. Yeah. So that works. And then let's add some padding to the whole thing. Yeah. And we're gonna add some padding up here too. Although maybe just do px. Yeah. That works. Okay. I was gonna make this outline a little rounded. Not full, but maybe large. Yeah, that works. And then we want to be able to add some clickable functionality to this. So on this one, there is an on-press event. And we want to be able to select the tab. Let's import React. And then if the selected tab, right now it's defaulting to follows. So I'm going to just select the tab.name. Honestly, you could just do an array of strings, but whatever. And then we want to do if selected tab equals item.name, do solid, otherwise do outline. Hey, look at that. Okay, so now we got our button header. You know what? I am going to change it to just strings. I think it's... Oh, I just forgot one thing. So close. Okay, same thing. And then the next thing we're going to do is we want to show the following section. Right now we're only going to do the functionality for this one tab. honestly, we're probably going to want to do each one, have this being the parent item, and then in activity show different. I'm just going to do that actually. We want to be able to show the follow section is going to show users. The likes can show users. I think I just added that one. Repost is going to show the actual post, so you can post view. So it's going to treat each section a little different. And so let's do new file follows .tsx. We copy this and then remove all of this. We do need, let's just put a empty array for now. And then returning nothing. It's going to yell at me, so I got to return null, I think. And then let's import the from down to here. So yeah, we're going to do something like this. So change the views depending on what's selected. For right now, honestly, let's just do follows. And that's it. So right now it's nothing. But at least it allows us to abstract the code a little bit, because this is going to be, we're going to add some functionality in here. The first of which is importing. So here we want not the people we're following. Actually, we're going to import both, but for different reasons. What we want to show is just everyone that's following us for right now. So let's import that hook. We don't need to pass user ID. We could just use our hook. Use auth. Dude, auth provider. I don't know why this. No matter what I do, it never gets this use auth right. It's very odd. Okay, user passing into use followers, and let's console log data. Right now it's empty. Okay, so I'm gonna have to log in as the other user and then follow myself. So let's see if this works. I think the other user is 555. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, nice. Okay, so it's logged in as Tim. And then let's like or follow. Oh, did that work? I don't know. Yeah, it did work. We just didn't add the refetch functionality. So if we reload, it would not show. Yeah, there you go. It disappears. Okay, we gotta fix that actually. But since each person's following themselves, I'm just gonna stay logged in as Tim for right now, because if we could see down here, it's returning the data that we want. So we want to loop through this data. The user is ourself. So we don't want that. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Oh my God, I'm confusing myself. The user is the person that we want to show. Okay, we're logged in as Tim, so it's React Native Nerd. Heals meal. Data. And then let's put some stuff down here. So what do we want to do? Probably an H stack. An overall H stack. Here we're going to do an avatar. We could use the same avatar from the profile. Then inside that is like a H stack right here, a V stack right here. Okay. So we'll start off with the H stack. Let's import it. Components, H stack. And then in profile, which is actually user, we have a lot more logic on the other avatars. So I just want to copy and paste this one. Let's import it. And then it's going to be user. Oh no. Item.user. Avatar URL we're going to have to create, because remember we did. If we go back to user, we have this avatar URL. Let's copy and paste that. And if they have one in their bucket, And so I really like this part because all we need is the user ID and we know the extension of avatar.jpg. If it exists, then it'll show. Otherwise, it'll have to do the fallback. So we want to do in, can't do it up here because that's going to change for each user. We have to do it down here. And this is going to be item.user.id. So the item, this whole thing's the item.user.id. Okay. Do dot username. Okay, so that's React Native, yes. And then we want to do a VStack. We don't have a bio, so it's going to be follows you. Nice. Okay. In this H stack, we want to make sure there's some space and then item center. Maybe this avatar is a little too big. Yeah, I think it looks better. And then it also has the dates. It has the actual date, but we can copy and paste the same date format that we have from the post view. But for right now, let's do text. Oh, it's going to be extra small. So again, created that date. Oh wait, did my other text disappear? I didn't. I know. I'm not created that date. Okay. And then remember, this gives us the time difference, which I think looks cool. Somehow my text got removed. There we go, 21 minutes ago. Let's align these items center. There we go. And then let's finish it off with a button. So we can just copy our button component from over here. Import from our UI. Okay, so not selected tab, but this is going to change because it's either going to be like follow back or unfollow based on if they're already following them or not. But we don't have that imported yet, so let's just make sure this shows correctly first. So console log, just empty. And then solid. Okay. Items.center P2. This is going off screen, so we might have to make this a little shorter. Okay, it's fine for now. Next thing we want to do is use following data equals use following. Yeah. And then import that. So remember, if we do console log following data, it's just an array of, so it'll say if we already follow this person, which we do. Yes, we do. So then we could do let's change the buttons actually based on following data dot includes. Okay. If, why is it doing that? Yeah. Okay. If we're already following that person, we want to put unfollow. If we are following, then we have to give them the option to follow back. If we already are following them, let's do outline. And then if we want to follow back, make it more clear, put solid. Okay. So now let's actually add those functions of follow and unfollow. So const follow, we have the same functions already in somewhere, post view. So we could do this. Now we can actually delete that one. Come back here, paste it. Now this one we actually have to pass in information because this, let's import Screwbase first. We don't have access to this item right here, so we got to pass it in. User ID is already there though, so we have to do put following. And we just put following user ID is a string. Here we go. And following user ID equals following user ID. Okay, let's try this again. So follow user is going to be our user ID, and then the following user ID, which we're going to pass down here. And we're going to pass in follow user item dot user dot ID. Unfollow item dot user ID. So that should be the same. Following. Oh, sorry, I had it mixed up. Unfollow and then follow. And then to get it to show up right away, we could do if no error. We actually want to refetch both of them. We could just rename them refetch followers. Let's import this one, refetch following. Like I said, we're going to do both on each one of them. Reload. If we unfollow, okay, it still shows because they still follow us. And now we're going to follow them back. Unfollow. Now if we go home, we're following them. Oh, we didn't add that functionality, but if we go here. Okay, let's fix that. What am I calling? Oh, interesting. I don't know why. So naming is important. We're importing error from the wrong section. Okay, so now we reloaded, it went away, but let's make that immediate by adding the same refetch to our post view. So we're gonna do if no error. Yep, import error. And then here we only have, okay, so we only have fetch following. So here we only care about the one. Actually, on the other page, we only care about the one too, so. I don't know why. On follow user. We only care about refetching. Following, I think. Yeah. We actually don't need that other one. But I'm going to keep it named the same way so it's not confusing, but we don't need to import that one. That's just because we don't really care if someone follows us in the middle. Like, it doesn't need to be real time, but this does. So if I go back home, that should show this button. That should disappear. Now it says unfollow. Awesome. Okay, there's our functionality for following and unfollowing user. Now that we have all of these hooks and followers and whatever it may be, we can, what I want to do next, profile. Right now on profile, there's two different things I want to do. If you were logged in as Tim, for some reason, we could see this person's edit profile, so we don't want to show that. And then on here, we want to do this little avatar thing, which I've never used before, but it looks cool. So it's right here, avatar group. So it's looping through the avatars as a color. So I guess we don't really need color. Let's just copy and paste this. See what we need to do. So let's go over to profile, no user, yes. Okay, so in profile we have, so we want to put it right below the username. It's also a bunch of empty space, so it's perfect. We're going to do a VStack. Let's remove this one. In here, we're going to put this avatar group. Again, I've never used this before, so we'll see how this goes. Say, okay, in this avatar group, avatars that size. We don't have avatars, but we do have followers. And we have our followers hook. So we're going to do data. We can call it avatars. Use followers. And then let's import it. I don't want to do avatars. That's more confusing. Okay, so avatars. Okay, let's only show this if followers and yeah. Or else it's going to yell at us. Otherwise, it's still should be fine now, but I'm going to ignore it for now. We'll see how that works. And then the other thing we need to do is construct that avatar URL. So let's go back to follows. We need to do the same thing. And then you do it right here. So you do avatar. No. Let's just do item. Item dot user dot ID. Item dot user dot ID. Yes, okay. And then avatar. Wait, avatar alt. Oh, this one doesn't. This is just colors. I want the photos. Fallback text. Okay, so I could still loop through. So let's see. Fallback text is right here. Fallback text. And then we just want to put the image right below. I don't really care about the color. Yeah. Remaining counts is. Oh, it's huge. Okay, that works. Oh, large. I would know it. That's okay. And then on this one, we really only want to show it if follows that length is greater than 3. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't want to show plus minus. Although it's a little sad just doing a single one, but that's the reality. We only got one follower right now. It's fine for right now, but it's a little sad that we only have. Let's fake it for a second. Okay, we could put some fake users, make us seem a little bit more popular. Okay, now this is, I'm starting to waste some time here, but you get the point. Let's clean this up. What is it? I'm right back here. Okay. Okay, so now we got 3 followers. Not really, but okay, now it's matching. Border outline, border 2. Okay, so you could do the little, that's cool. I like it. Yeah, we don't want to show this edit profile, so in order to change that, let's go to, if, it's not, oh, did I create that already? Oh, I did. Okay, if you're not the owner, oh, if you are the owner, so I put this, I forgot, we had in another episode, we created this like in a couple different places, like if the auth user equals the user ID, you want to do things a little bit differently. I just made it a variable so that you'd be like, is it the owner of the profile? We don't own this profile, so we're not going to show these buttons. And we come back to our profile and it shows this edit button where we hit sign out, and where we're probably going to have more functionality. We have our one real user and then our 2 other fake users in this little icon thing. And then we have the ability to unfollow and then follow people back based on who's following us. There we go. Oh, interesting. Oh, because it's, okay. Anyway, in the next episode, we're going to add more functionality to these. So right now we just have follows, and that's why we turned this into its own component, because we could just hide and show different components based on what tab is selected at the time. For this one, really only want to do if it equals follows, then show the follows. Otherwise, just don't show anything. So we're going to add some components to this section so we can tab between them. So hope you join me for the next one. Subscribe, and see you next time. Peace.